Okay, here is a mini lesson on how to uh, navigate and format a Google Sheet spreadsheet. So um, here's my teaching checklist on the right side. So navigating the sheet, columns are listed by letters and rows are by numbers. So it's kind of like Battleship, A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, and so on. So each respective box is called a cell. And you can navigate these using the directional arrow keys. You can also use the tab key. You can hit the enter key and that'll go down a row. So that's a quick way of moving around this. You can select an entire column or select an entire row. You could hit the shift key and select multiple rows or multiple columns. Okay. And so that's a quick navigation thing. Entering data is pretty simple. Simply click on the cell and start typing. For formatting these, okay, including headers, freezing columns, text wrapping, row height, etc. So I want to make these some clear headings. So I will select those and then kind of like you guys are used to doing on Word documents, you can certainly do the same thing here. So I centered it, bold it, you can make it a bigger font. It's really up to you. Okay. Let's freeze rows and columns. So let's say I'm scrolling right now and then I miss my top row or I'm going left and right and I can't see the information I have in that first column. And so if you go to view, freeze, you can freeze row 1. Now when I scroll down, all the headers are still there. You can do the same thing with columns. So now when you scroll, that information's right there. Lastly, text wrapping. So right now it talks about, you can see how this is long enough that it bleeds into this other cell area here. If I want to wrap that, that's this button right here. Right now it's overflow. There's wrap. And then it also has it, so it clips it, so it wouldn't run into the next thing. Clearly when you click on it, you can see it up here in the formula bar. Also, if I'm typing in something here and I want to go down to the next row, if you just hit Control Alt Enter, that'll go down to the next row as well, instead of having to go all the way to the end of the column. Adjusting row height and row column. Okay, just up here. And you can, if you want to size multiple columns at the same time and have them all be the same size, you can select multiple cells now. When I adjust the width of one, all the columns adjust to that width. Same thing for row heights. Put your cursor over here and drag them up and down. Number formatting. What this applies to is how a number appears in the cell. So if I'm using dates, this one would be, say, May 10th, 2019. Okay. Right now, clearly it shows up as a date. And I can do this for all of this whole section right here. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to highlight it, go to Format, Number, and you can get the dates to appear in different ways. So I can even have the actual date on there. I'll adjust the width there for that. Let's try it this way. So now the date appears like that. If I want to change it back, now it's in that format. So it's a way of how numbers appear. And you can look at more dates and times, etc. I kind of like it with the actual day, because then you can kind of look at it each week to see if it's coming up or not. Okay, so that's formatting numbers. Using drop-down menus in data validation. So for the status here, that's kind of the progress of that particular project. So what I'm going to do is highlight the cells that I want, go to data validation, And I'm going to choose from a list of items. And then you can put in here, possible progress. So I've got not started, in progress, ready for review, and completed. Now notice there's a little arrow there, and I can select which one it is. So it gives me a list to choose from. You will do the same thing for the task owner, but instead of putting those various progress marks, let's go from a list of items. We'll put people's names. So and I will hit save, and these would be my group members. Whoops, I screwed that one up. So instead of periods, I need to put commas. Okay, so to fix that, pretty easy. You can get in here, select my cell range again, go to data, data validation. Instead of periods, I need commas. Questions about that? Let me know. Okay. Next thing, conditional formatting. Okay, this one right here. So what you can do is you can have certain text appear a certain way or in a certain color. So I'm going to go to data and use, or excuse me, format. Go to conditional formatting. And if the cell, if text contains not started, I want it to appear red, right? And then I'm going to hit add another rule. If text contains in progress, I want it to be, let's choose a different one. Let's go like light blue. So notice now when I change this to in progress, it turns to blue. If I add another rule for that cell range, let's go text contains ready for review. Let's go yellow. That's a little intense. Let's go calmer yellow. And I'm going to hit add another rule. Text contains, let's go green. So notice when I put the various things in there, it kind of highlights it so you can kind of keep track of where you're at as a group. Task owner, you can do the same thing too. You can apply rules to. Hyperlinks. If you want to link anything to a certain document, I'll show you quickly how to do that. So let me get in here to project, and here's an example. I came up with a company called Lakeside Cabins. Notice I have a folder created for it. If you don't know how to create folders, just go to new, hit folder, and then you type in the name. And all the content that's in here. So let's say I want to link this logo. I can right click on it and hit share or get shareable link. Okay. Copy that, and then I'm going to go back to my document here, paste that in there, and there's the link. Now, another thing you could do is, you could put the link in there, or you can hyperlink it, so you can type in text and say, okay, I think there's one for the logo, which this is what that should have been. So I could take the word logo, insert link, same idea. Now it's a hyperlink. So that's hyperlinks. We talked about freezing rows and columns. Changing the document title up here, you can change. You just click on it. You guys know how to do that. Okay. Moving and saving. You click here, and you can save it wherever you'd like it to be. You can move it around. Pretty simple. Share. Make sure this document, you have one of these per team, so you're going to share that with all of your partners in your group. Click share, and you simply start typing their email address, their Ankeny address, and they'll get it. And that's it. That's a quick preview on how to do this project management page. Under notes, just make sure there's anything that your group needs to know about any particular portion. You can talk about what specifically you're working on or where you might need help. The reason this is a really good idea is if you're ever gone or whatever, it's a great way of communicating with your group for the project. So thank you very much. Good luck.